That is not a protective hairstyle. Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. If you have a type 4 natural hair like mine, low porosity hair, then this video is for you. If you don't, but you have other natural hair types, then this video is also applicable to you, because in today's video we're going to talk about taking care of our natural hair, your routine, your habits, and the protective hairstyles that is right for your hair, especially in a dry, humid weather like this. If you're new to the channel and you haven't seen this hot chocolate before, hello and welcome. This is Tinuola, and in this corner I share valuable beauty, well-being, and lifestyle content, so please consider subscribing down below. In winter, it's very common that we don't focus on our hair because, hello, we're trying to survive, we're trying to stay warm, take care of our skin, and we just forget that our hair also needs some pampering, some care to stay healthy and moisturized. And then because our hair isn't properly taken care of, we deal with dryness, brittle hair, breakage, and all that not so fun stuff. So what can we do differently to maintain a healthy, happy hair? The first thing you want to do is your routine. And how frequently do you wash your hair? Do you wash your hair every week, every other week? Well, for natural 4C hair, especially if you don't have an extremely oily scalp, you can wash your hair twice a month. So that's like every other week. You can pre-poo your hair if you have the time. If you don't, jump straight into shampooing your hair after detangling your hair with your hand. When it comes to shampoos, you want to make sure you check the ingredient list and you see lots of sulfate and fragrance. That's the type of shampoo you shouldn't be using. Okay, for winter, avoid using clarifying shampoos as well, because they will strip your hair from the natural moisture. What you want to use is cold wash shampoos or mild shampoos, the ones that are sulfate free, but a cold wash shampoo is so good for your hair in this period. You can also deep condition your hair, especially if you have a low porosity natural hair like mine. Deep conditioning goes a long way, and you can steam your hair as well. So run that lukewarm water through your scalp. That would increase the circulation in your scalp and also help with your hair growth. If you have brittle, dry hair, you want to add oils and butter to your moisturizers. So of course, you're using the lock method, which is your leave-in conditioner, your oil, your cream. When you use that, you want to add oil. So add in like your carrier oils, your coconut oil. You can add even castor oil, almond oil. They're all great for natural hair. And you can seal it in with any natural butter you have, like a shea butter, cocoa butter. They all work fine, especially if you have a very thick hair. You need to be able to use a heavy butter for that hair because it needs more moisture, it needs more cream, it needs more product. Sorry, but that's the reality. Always moisturize your hair daily. Put in some water, put in some leave-in conditioner. That should be daily. Reduce heat as much as you can. So that's additional heat in terms of your blow dryer, your straighteners, your coil wands. If at all you want to use them, just use them, occasionally. And you can use the cool setting on your hair dryer instead of the hot setting, or the lowest heat setting is what you should be using. So with moisturizers, I feel like the biggest challenge isn't applying moisturizers, but actually retaining moisture in our hair. As natural 4C hair, that is the biggest struggle, because when you don't have enough moisture in your hair, that's when your hair gets dry, that is when it brittles, that is when it breaks, and you don't want that. So what can you do to retain moisture? I would categorize it under two categories. The first is the daily habits you incorporate into your daily routine. So things like, if you're going to bed, instead of leaving your hair in the free-flowing state of afro goodness, you can instead pack your hair into sections. Yes, it sounds like a big deal, it sounds like a lot of things to do, but it's really, really easy and it doesn't take too much time. If you have a long natural hair, it's easier for you to just pack your hair into one section, but I recommend at least 2 sections. I feel like that's better. Pack your hair into 2 sections. You can braid it if you're very good with braiding. That easy. If you're not good with braiding, you can use scrunchies or use hair bands. So you can do that into 2 sections. If you don't have a long natural hair, you can do 4 sections. I usually do 4 sessions because I don't have a long natural hair. So you can do that before going to bed, and of course use your satin scarf or bonnet. Yes, it might not be the easiest thing to do. Some of us just like to jump straight into bed without any extra work, any extra load. But honestly, if you really want to care for your hair, you need to do those things. You might be able to skip a day or 2 here and there, but generally those are the things you should do. Truth is, if you begin to incorporate it, gradually into your routine, you'll find out that it actually doesn't really take that much time. So the other category of retaining moisture is doing protective hairstyles. My absolute favorite protective hairstyle is cornrow. I love cornrow because you can easily have it done on yourself, and when you're going out, you can go out with your scarf, with your beanies, with your hats, or you could go out in a wig. What makes a protective hairstyle great is if you can access your scalp easily to moisturize it, if you can access your hair strands easily to moisturize them as well, but your hair strands aren't just out there in the open, they're properly kept and put into place. So that is really what makes a protective hairstyle great. And of course, if it's not damaging to your hair in terms of like the tension, your edges. So for an everyday girl that doesn't have much time and has about 15 minutes to get out of the house, I'll definitely recommend a headband wig. That's like the basic thing that you can easily put on your cornrow and just jump out of the house. When you're using a headband wig, there are so many fashionable headband wigs out there that you can try. If you're into slaying all the edges and you have time to melt that wig, you can definitely do you, boo. The only thing is, if you have a very tender edges, you have edges that they are literally struggling to survive. It's not practical for you to daily melt your wig, because at the end of the day, you don't want to keep the glue and the wig there. You want to be able to moisturize your hair every day, so you want to use a wig that you can take off. So it's a matter of practicality when it comes to wigs, but definitely they are a good way for you to protect your hair, as long as it's not really damaging your edges. And that's why I'm a bit skeptical about the glued lace wigs. Moving on to clip-ins, which is also one of my favorite protective hairstyles to do. I love clip-ins because it's so versatile. I've been using clip-ins for over 2 years, probably almost 4 years now. It's definitely my thing. So with clip-ins, there are several styles and you can go with, and there are several textures out there in the market. The one I use is the one that blends in with my hair well. The reason why clipping is great is because it's very practical for me in terms of putting it on and taking it off. So when I put on clip-ins, it typically takes me about 15 to 30 minutes to put it on. And the best way to put on clip-ins is if you can put it into cornrows, like cornrow your hair or section your hair into like 4 parts, like I said in the past, and just put on your clip-ins. If you can't do that, you can put on your clip-ins directly into your hair. I think I do that most of the time nowadays. I just put it directly into my hair. But I know that when it's in my hair, it's covering my hair for most part. It's probably just, the tiny part in the front that I would leave to just blend into my hair, and that's fine. Also, I'm able to moisturize my hair every single day with clip-ins, and when I'm going to bed, I take out the clip-in. It doesn't take more than 5 minutes for me to get out all my clip-ins, 5 to 10 minutes max. It really doesn't take my time. To be honest, 5 minutes is typical. And that way I'm also able to section my hair and then cover it and go to bed. You don't want to leave your clip-ins in your hair. They are going to give you a headache. It's going to snag your hair. You don't want to do that. That's a bad habit. Other protective hairstyles I love are braids and Ghana weaving. For braids, if you have a very soft, natural 4C hair and it's not as dense, avoid the typical box braids because the tension is going to drag your hair and it's not very good for your scalp. It's a bit traumatic, to be honest. So avoid that if you can. And go with knotless braids. Knotless braids goes, you know, if you have a thick hair, if you have a thin hair, you can do knotless braids. It's great. Any braids or any protective hairstyle you're doing, you don't want to do it past 6 weeks. Okay, max 7 weeks. 7 weeks I feel like it's a stretch, but 2 months is a stretch, guys. 6 weeks is decent. Okay, I see people doing protective hairstyles for 3 months, and I'm like, okay, sis, I'm coming for you, but not today. Stop. Like, don't do that to your hair, okay? Except if you're on locks. Obviously, if you're on locks, that's a different case. You know, that's a different case. So with Ghana weaving, it's a great protective hairstyle because it's like cornrows. Your hair is, you know, properly packed into place, and you can still moisturize your scalp. You can still moisturize your hair as much as possible. Braids, Ghana weaving, those styles where you use the synthetic hair extensions, it's good for your hair because it's not super drying. But with styles like the 4 locks where you use the kinky hair, it's a bit drying, the kinky hair. So 4 locks, even though you're able to still access your scalp, which is good, you're not able to easily access your hair strands to moisturize them because they are inside the 4 locks, and some of these 4 locks hair, they are super drying. So it's not as bad as of a protective hairstyle, but it's not the best on the market. Crochet and sewing will be the last on the list for me, especially those crochet where you cornrow your hair and then you put the crochet hair on it, and then sewings as well, because the thing is, the hair is kind of, you know, it's stuck to your hair in a way, and you can't really access your scalp, like access your entire hair and your scalp and properly massage, moisturize your hair and your scalp. So it's here and there, it's not the best, but if you want to do it, that's fine. Whatever style you're doing, try not to drag too much on your edges. If you have any hairstylist that is dragging on your edges, tell them they are from the pit of hell, because there is no reason why someone should be dragging so hard on your edges. Okay, so avoid hairstyles that will drag too much on your edges. So when you're doing Ghana weaving or any hairstyle that requires them to really pick on your edges, just tell the hairstylist to take it easy right there, because your edges are very soft and you don't need that pain. So that's all for this video. I don't want it to be too long, but I hope you've been able to learn a thing or two. If you have, please let me know down in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it so far. If you have not subscribed to this channel, why? Please click that subscribe button, join this thriving family, and I will see you in the next video. In the meantime, I love you and keep your light shining. Bye.